Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. He's Randy, I'm Chris. We are ExcaliburCCG.com, Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games in Shreveport, Louisiana and Texarkana, Texas. And welcome to our show. Happy New Year again to everyone. Thank you to our current subscribers. Thank you if you're new and you haven't seen our show before. Thanks for pressing play. We really appreciate it. Randy and I talk comics every week. The big stuff that's hitting, the new number ones, our favorites that we have. And this is going to be a longer episode, guys. And just like all of our other videos, it's been a while since I've reminded you guys, we do have the MP3 available down below in the description. You can click on the link, go download it, listen to the show on the go if you don't have time to watch it live. But guys, it's a new year. Tons of new stuff. This month, we have a ton of comics to talk about, so we're not going to take too much time. But the companies are kicking it off this week with a bunch of stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, they're not kicking off this week because technically, even though the comics came out last week in December, they were for January solicits. But so we got that wrong, saying it was a 5-week December month, because that was actually the first week of January that we were receiving then. So they're just pouring it on a little more now. They said, oh, here's a little teaser last week, and then went, bam, here's everything.
Here's everything. We got a ton of number ones, just a ton of continuing, and some new storylines that are happening this week.
Finally, some closure with some other events, storylines there. So
yeah, lots of stuff. So, guys, the question of the week. We're going to dive right on into this. This is Randy's idea, and I think it's a great one because it should make the gears turn. The question of the week is this: if you were in charge of DC Comics right now, what are the 3 things that you would change about what DC Comics is doing with their publishing, with their creators, with their titles? What would be the top 3 things?
Anything.
Characters, anything. What would be the top 3 things that you would change if you were head of DC Comics right now? I think that's appropriate question for the beginning of the year. People talking about changes, resolutions, stuff like that. So that's it. Randy, what things, up to 3 things that can you think of?
You need Damian Wayne back and Dick Grayson back in the Batman outfit. That right there was the only time I've really cared for Batman. I'll say it. Superman and Wonder Woman don't need to be an item. That's another thing. And get Stargirl and Power Girl back with the JSA characters. Don't have them off what they're doing right now. They need to be back with the JSA characters, even if it means them being part of the Earth to get them over there. So those are the changes I would have.
Oh man, he didn't pull any punches,
Nope.
guys. DC did not pull any punches.
Superman and Wonder Woman, that's I don't agree with it.
You don't think it should ever be?
If you read the Wonder Woman comic, that would never happen.
Okay.
Not with that character that is being written in Wonder Woman. It would not happen.
Oh, I'm blown away, folks. I'm blown away.
That's right. I also said I don't like Bruce Wayne. I like Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is a much better, more fun Batman for me to read than the I can beat anybody at any time because I think ahead and know all possible situations. He's not Midnighter. That's
well, yeah, right, yeah, and Morrison and Quietly, when they did Batman and Robin, that was Dick Grayson and
that was
Damian Wayne. That was great.
I loved it.
Great. Period. So, my top. Well, I don't know if I have 3. I know of at least 2. I might have a third one here. The first thing that I would want to change is there's no point in soliciting and trying to sell comics that aren't written and drawn. So, case in point, Superman Unchained.
Yeah.
Why is it taking a month and a half, 2 months per issue that's not tied into anything?
Right.
There's no other storylines going into that. Jim Lee is notoriously a great artist, but he's also slow and cannot do a monthly book. The first thing I would change is I would have all of that in hand before I even solicited that.
Right.
That's what would happen.
The Kevin Smith rule.
The Kevin Smith rule, like what Bob Schreck did to Kevin Smith years ago. I'm not going to go into that. Number 2, I really think that Superman, and this is just me, there's no reason why Superman should not be like the best-selling comic book out there. So to me, I think that Superman should be topping the charts, top 5 always at least. You should have the top talent, top artists, top writers, top artists on it, month in, month out, all the time. Don't go dark, grim, gritty with Superman. That's just, to me, that's just not what he's built for.
That's Batman. You need the opposite to Batman.
Exactly. Those are really the only two main things that I can really think of, besides just doing something to cause me, because I'm not a big DC guy, just something to market to me. What would it take to have more of people like me buy DC stuff? So
I want to see more books written like Wonder Woman and Green Arrow are written. Those two are some of the top books with how they write those characters.
Very good. Very good. Guys, tell us what the top 3 things are that you would change if you were in charge of DC Comics right here and now.
Yeah.
Boom.
We know we're going to see a lot of like Donna Troy and Stephanie Brown comments like that.
What about some Green Lantern stuff thrown in there too, huh? People love a Guy and...
Well, I'm a Guy fan, and I would like to see him written a little better. But lots of comics to talk about. Let's get to it, man.
All right, event storylines, guys. We got tons of stuff. We're just going to dive right in. What would you like to start with, sir?
We've got a couple of... this is... Marvel now has their Now series going on with their second waves, and they have some issues. They're not number ones, but they're being solicited as the same as number ones. So I'm just going to real quickly go over the 2 that they have coming out this week that people need to be on the lookout for. They're new story arcs that they can dive right into, and they're going to have the Point Now with them. That's Avengers AI number 8 Point Now. Yeah. With that is the beginning of the storyline, the extinction of the human race. And I don't know if that's the exact title, but that's kind of the working title that they're going with here. And we have Vision and the other robot AI Avengers teaming up with the Uncanny Avengers, trying to take on Demetrius as he is trying to destroy the human race and take over with the robots in charge.
Right.
So that is our same as number 1 Point Now that's coming out. We also have Savage Wolverine number 14 Point Now coming out. That is going to be Richard Eisnov coming on board for his story arc. And this is just, as you pointed out in weeks previous, a story that isn't necessarily a current story, because this one is taking place in the 1930s.
Right.
This is going on during Prohibition, and Wolverine is now a bootlegger. So we'll get to see a different type of Wolverine here than I guess we should say Logan, than what we've really seen in the past. And this will be one that people might want to take a look at, because you have Eisnov's art, and we'll get to see his writing. We've seen a little bit of it before, and we get to see, I think, a different Wolverine than what we've seen before, which is what Savage Wolverine has been trying to do with its title.
Exactly.
So, 2 Point Nows coming out. Pick them up. Let's keep going.
Guys, let's keep going with, I'm going to go with the Forever Evil stuff. We got some Forever Evil stuff to cover here. We've got Forever Evil Arkham War number 4 hitting the shelves. If you guys read issue number 3, you saw that there was a status quo that happened there in Gotham, and that is continuing with a new dynamic duo in Gotham City, and I'm talking about Bane and Talon, being the as they're calling dynamic duo, the new people in charge. So Tomasi on board there with the writing is not Gleason, who is Scott Eaton as the artist on that book. Fun book. I love how Tomasi's changing it up there with the characters. Check it out. Also, guys, we've got Phantom Stranger, Trinity of Sin number 15 hitting the shelves, and this is the Blight storyline part 7 of 18. Apparently, there has been a type of relationship between Phantom Stranger and the Sea King, the guy that came over with the crime syndicate. And in this issue, Phantom Stranger is faced with a choice of a death, and he has to make a decision between saving someone and letting someone die. And how the Sea King is going to factor into that, I'm not sure exactly, but it's a crucial part of the storyline. So another part there of the Forever Evil stuff and the Forever Evil Blight storyline, which I know several people have been reading. I know a couple of people that are getting like everything Forever Evil. So check that out, guys. 2 of them hitting the shelves this week.
Also coming out from DC Comics, we have the Gothtopia storyline that's starting up here with Detective Comics number 27. Why is this important? Because this is the second time we've had Detective Comics 27. The last time this came around was in, say, 1938, 39, when we had the first appearance of Batman. So now this is kind of a special issue here. And within this issue, we have Brad Meltzer and Brian Hitch retelling the origin of Batman. We also have plenty of other creators who are, hot creators right now. Scott Snyder and many others. They're going to be telling stories throughout this book. Expect it to have probably a pretty hefty price tag on it.
Yeah, I think it's $7.99 or $8.99.
Yeah, I think I know it was going to be at least $6.99. So you're going to have that, and then you have the regular team of Layman and Fabok, who are going to kickstart the Gothtopia storyline.
Yes.
With this storyline, it just looks like it's kind of a dream world. Everything comes true. It's all fine and dandy, and looks to like everybody's wish, everybody's dream of what they want of Gotham is coming true. And by everyone, I mean the heroes,
right,
vigilantes, whatever you want to call them. And so it looks great, but just don't look too closely, because you might start seeing some cracks in the dreams there, or holes in everything. And similar to that, we have Batwing number 27, and in Batwing number 27, it's kind of the same thing, except this time we have Batwing is the protector of Gotham City. He is the person that is in charge, the person that watches over it, and he's got his proud papa there, Lucius, who's knows who he is, knows what's going on and everything. Mm-hmm. And it looks like another thing that's too good to be true.
Right.
So that looks to be what the theme is going to be of the Gothtopia storyline. And eventually you're going to see more and more people who are figuring it out, and then it's going to break open and whatever else will change from it. And as you pointed out to me off screen, this is going to be what ties into the weekly Batman title that will be coming out.
From what I've read, yeah. It's supposed to kind of like prelude to it, lead up to it. I'm a bit surprised and a little confused, but we'll definitely check out a modern retelling of Batman's origin by Brad Meltzer and Brian Hitch. But what is Snyder and Capullo doing in Batman Zero Year? So anyway, it should still be fun, and it'd be cool to check out. What else we got going on, man? There's so much stuff about Infinity stuff.
Yeah, there's one last Infinity book.
Yeah, there is. One last Infinity book, Infinity Heist, number 4. Marvel, you're way late. But guys, it's a fun little mini-series with Iron Man's rogues gallery of villains teaming up under the leadership of Spy Master to steal everything they can from Tony Stark / Iron Man. There's been some changes along the way, because we've had Inhumanity happen. Some people have been changed. Some familiar villains, rogues, have been changed.
I think this one's going to focus on a couple of those.
That it has been focusing on that. Plus, we get to find out who it was that has actually employed this group of rogues to steal everything, and it wasn't just Spy Master's idea to do it for himself. He was hired by someone to do it. So this will wrap up. This is number 4. This wraps up the miniseries. It's been a fun, quick-paced miniseries by Frank Thierry and Al Barrio-Nuevo is the artist. It's been great. I've had fun with it. So
you have Blizzard is going to have some big changes to him, and we get to find out some big secrets about Titanium Man in those. So those are two that, if you like either of those characters, you don't want to miss this one. We have another. Marvel has a lot of stuff they're juggling right now. Another one that they're juggling right now is Revolutionary War.
Right.
And Revolutionary War is going to be this series that there are a lot of different one-shots that will be spread out over the next couple of months here. 2 or 3, 4 of them each month coming out. And they're taking a look at the Marvel UK characters here. So you have some sort of event that's going on that somehow is going to get Captain Britain, Pete Wisdom, Kill Power, Motormouth, Death's Head 2, the Warheads, many other of the characters that you haven't seen since the 80s and 90s there. Gets them all together to take on this something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we really don't know, do we?
We really don't know. But all we know is that it's a lot of these one shots will then be focusing on lots of these different characters that will be coming out. So we're putting this in our events instead of our number ones, because otherwise we just have tons of these number ones coming out. They're all just events, and they look like they're all part of this war that's going on. And they're calling this Revolutionary War Alpha. So they're probably going to have, some sort of Omega book to end it.
To bookend it with, huh?
Yeah, to bookend it.
Let's see here.
They also have Inhumanity. The Awakening #2.
And you know what? I didn't realize. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize. I didn't realize because I've been a little bit behind on my reading, so I'll just be honest with that up front. But I did finally get a chance to catch up with Infinity the Hunt.
Yeah. Which
was supposed to be like a modern Contest of Champions thing. It turned out to be really different, but there were some really cool characters introduced in that.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline got better as it went along, and actually Infinity Awakening #1 and 2 are a continuation of that story.
Yeah, it's Matt
totally
Kent telling both stories.
So at the end of the hunt, the school gets together, all the school kids get together, and they're helping with the after effects, the consequences of the battle that happened with Infinity. And with the Awakening, they go right into Pixie being on her social media and following the events of people putting in hashtag change or hashtag power, hashtag inhuman, and comes across a girl in issue #1 that's trying to kill herself and almost does, but they save her and find out what's going on with her situation. And at the end of the situation, leading up to this new Awakening #2 hitting the shelf, this girl has had the change happen to her. And then at the end of the first issue, we found out the change happened to her brother. And this leads into #2, and he's not taking it the same way that she is at all.
Well, we also, I think, are going to be seeing a lot more of the Chrysalises opening up here.
Yeah.
And we're going to have not just that going on, but we're going to have some powers that are stepping up here that I don't know if it's like AIM and S.H.I.E.L.D. and different groups, but different groups that are going to be making decisions on how they should handle what's going on here. Friendly, foe, we don't know exactly, but we'll be taking a look and seeing some of that go on.
Yeah.
So we have that. Also, we have the Cataclysm stuff that's going on right now. And we're having the wrap-up of the Ultimate Spider-Man with #3.
Exactly.
And we also have the Ultimate Last Stand #3 coming out, but that is of a 5-issue series. And the Spider-Man had a real big reveal at the end of issue 2.
Exactly.
We're going to find out if Spider-Man survives, if he, if his universe survives. But that's going to be something that he's going to have to deal with. Whatever happens beyond the Cataclysm stuff that's going on. Anything you can give, because any information about the Last Stand.
Last Stand, with the last issue, we saw that Peter Parker. The key to the whole situation, once they realized that this is Galactus coming over, our Galactus coming over to the universe, they Miles Morales was able to actually tell him, "Hey, I've actually been to that universe. I can get over there, and I can talk to people." And then we have one of the Ultimate Universe main villains step forward, Reed Richards, and say, "I can help him do that as well." So with this issue, the whole question of whether or not Miles Morales continues as a hero or as Spider-Man is kind of revealed with how they're going to be able to bring him over to our universe to see if he can contact our Reed Richards in an effort to find out the information he needs to stop Galactus in their universe.
Right.
So we're going to find out even more about that and what Reed Richards, the ultimate Reed Richards, has in mind for what information he can glean or whatever he can get from our universe. Then we have the conclusion there of the Ultimate Spider-Man Cataclysm #3 there. Hopefully it'll be like, the Last Stand, and then you go into 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man and you have an answer, but we'll find out.
3 could end with him, having to make that choice to jump over and stuff. So it then leads into, I don't know how they're going to read, but
he walks into the wall of light with waving bye-bye behind him.
Something. Okay.
#1?
Events. Yeah, let's move on to number one.
We told you it was a lot, guys.
Let's start off with, we have the all-new Marvel Now .1 #1.
Yes.
We'll start off with that one because that leads into tons of other stuff that's going on with Marvel here. This is going to be similar to the first wave that you had with Marvel Now .1, in which you're going to have little mini stories here that are going to be about some of the characters, Loki, Silver Surfer, the new Miss Marvel, Black Widow, Avengers World, other characters, and it's going to be leading into their number ones that will be coming out later on here. So that's going to be one of the books, usually like $4.99, $5.99 price tag on it, that you're going to want to pick up because it will be focusing on the little prologue for what you're going to see in the next books. And these aren't, I don't think I've seen these printed in the graphic novels that have come out later on, the little prologues there. Right. So this is the only place where you're going to be able to read those. She-Hulk, I think, will be another one. The all-new Invaders, all-new X-Factor. You just have tons of these that they're probably going to focus on in that series there. Yeah. So that's one of those you don't want to miss. It's going to be, I think all the stories are told by the creative teams that will be doing the books there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that kind of continuity there.
Yeah.
Hey, what new Marvel number one do you want to start off with?
Oh, well, the one I'm most looking forward to myself is the all-new X-Factor.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the one. I'm looking forward to it because I know just how good and how talented Peter David is, and I loved his last X-Factor series he did, in which he wrote all of it.
Yeah, right.
The whole series there. I'm really, I'll go ahead and say it, I'm not a fan of, how do you say, the guy, the artist. I'm not a fan of it because it's not a real polished style. It's real sketchy. I think he did some stuff on Brand New Day stuff, and
he did a bunch of stuff. His newer stuff is looking less polished. The best stuff I've seen him do was Matt Murdock Father series. That was excellent. But yeah, I wasn't
a big fan of it. But this right here focuses on X Factor is now a corporate name. It's been bought out by some corporation there. And as we saw in one of the closing issues of the last X Factor run, Polaris has been approached by them to lead this group.
Right.
She enlists the help of her half-brother Quicksilver and Gambit. We know those names. They also have some other surprises there as to who joins up with the group. And they're kind of following the directions of this corporation. They don't know if they can necessarily trust them. Is the corporation good? Is it evil? What are their motives? All that's going to find out. They'll find out. To me, my guess is that it's going to be one of these things that they are with the corporation until they find out the dastardly secret behind them, and then they become some autonomous, X Factor group that has nothing to do with them or is now battling against them. Peter David could surprise me there. It could be totally different, but totally excited.
That's cool. Man, let's see. We got that. Avengers World, guys. Yeah. Avengers World number 1. We got Hickman and Spencer writing. We also have Stefano Castelli on art. And now that we've had the big event with Infinity, the Avengers are back now from the cosmos and the stars. And now they're realizing that there are some threats here on the Earth that have to be addressed. So we're looking at a global team of Avengers that will be assembled, brought together to fight these global threats that are taking place. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get it in my hands. I want to find out. I know that Hickman's not primarily writing it, but I want to see where it's going and what he has to do with it. So be sure and check that out.
Yeah, love Caselli's art.
Yes,
that's one of the big draws for me. And this also kind of reminds me of 5-10 years ago. It's hard to remember anymore these days. That in X-Factor or in X-Men they did the X Corporation that was all around the world with mutants, kind of.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of something like that, but with Hickman, at the helm, I'm sure that we'll have a pretty fun ride with it.
Yes.
Another number 1 that's coming out that I'm looking forward to is Black Widow number 1.
Black Widow number 1?
This may be your sleeper Hawkeye kind of hit here. I don't know, because this is going to focus on what does Black Widow do when she is not an Avenger, when she is not an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's looking like she's kind of feeling guilty about things that she did. Of course, this I guess ties into some of the movie Black Widow, Because, I mean, our Black Widow, she's been going around doing this stuff since the 40s here.
Right.
And, you know, she's been with the Avengers for I don't know how long, but she's trying to make up for you know, some of her past sins there.
The red in her ledger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, and they've explored it some over the last couple of years, and I think they're wanting to delve into this more. It's going to be an ongoing series here. You have Edmondson writing it, and you've got Phil Noto doing the art on it. Edmondson, he knows how to do this spy thriller kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He did that for us in The Activity from Image, and he's also carried it over into Winter Soldier after who's his name? After Baker left there. So that's going to be the creative team on this. Looks good.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that one.
Guys, another one that's coming back as a new #1 that was majorly pushed by Robert Kirkman because he was such a huge fan of it when it was originally published.
Do tell.
We have Minimum Wage #1.
Yeah.
Bob Fingerman telling the story of this guy Rob who gets married 3 years later. He's divorced. He's single. And he's got a cell phone. It's basically like a slice of life type of story. A guy getting married, getting a divorce, and then having to rebuild his life from that point forward.
He's boomeranged. He's living back at home again.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Well, that's what they call it. The boomerang. Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's what they actually.
I don't think I've heard it before, but I like it.
But it just seems like they're taking in their kind of moving it ahead a couple of years, but they're bringing it up to date more so with what's going on, because 15 years ago cell phones were not as prevalent.
Yeah, exactly.
There are things, the internet was not as prevalent 15 years ago as what it is now. We're also going to be looking to get the trades on this back in.
Okay.
Because people are going to pick this up. They'll be able to come in on this, but they'll want to go back and see what was the previous story on that. So we want to have that available for them. The last #1 that I have on the list is Vampire Diaries #1. Apparently this is a CW show. I didn't even know this existed. It's coming out through the DC's like other entertainment line there, where they do a lot of their cartoon and various Batman Black and White, different stuff like that, Injustice. And this is going to be the comic version of the vampire series, which I'm sure deals with very good-looking people who happen to be vampires.
They live forever.
They live forever.
Invincible.
I'm piecing together what I know about CW and what I know about vampires. So, that's awesome. That's about all I know of the series. So,
I don't think you're wrong, sir. I don't think you're wrong.
If you're a fan of it, or maybe if you're a fan of True Blood or any other vampire series that are out there, because I know there's something else and I'm just not pulling it, then this will probably be something you want to pick up. Twilight, that's another.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Pick it up. It'll be out there for the hardcore fans.
Hey guys, also for all of you with kiddos that are fans of Adventure Time, we got Adventure Time Flip Side #1, 6-issue miniseries from Boom Studios. Got Paul Tobin, Wook, Jen, Clark on board for art, and this is Finn and Jake finding themselves bored and wanting something to do. They decide to check out the Adventurers posting board, and adventure ensues. So guys, those of you that have kids or yourselves are fans of Adventure Time, got a new miniseries for you hitting this week.
Cool.
What else, bro?
We've got some. That's our #1.
Golly, there's so much.
We're trying to keep it moving since there's so much here. We're moving on to the just the other stuff. The stuff we're looking forward to. For me, it's the ending of a series, but I'm still going to promote it because you can go out, you can collect the trades, you can collect the back issues of it. Young Avengers #15 is ending. This is it. This is the end of season 1. I don't know if it's going to be the same creative team with season 2, but we've had a whole lot of teenage angst. I'm not the guy that likes to read those kind of books, but there's just a way they've worked it that it's so reminiscent of like watching The Breakfast Club or something, with how these characters interact with each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like airing of dirty laundry that needs to go on. Different the characters making up, maybe getting mad. I don't know if the group's breaking up. I don't know what's going on there. I have a feeling that when season 2 rolls around, we're going to see some different faces as part of the group here. Yeah. So, love this series. It has been easily in my opinion, and my opinion's right, Marvel's best series, hands down. And for those of you who have not been reading it, I don't like you. Because
I just don't like you.
Yeah, because how can you not read a series that has been this revolutionary? It's just been so different with everything, the storytelling.
Yeah, totally. So. And I'm jealous of folks that can go and pick it up in the trades.
Yeah.
Because they can have the chunks of story just all right there.
All right there.
Great, man.
Actually, and you can kind of laugh at those people who do that because they're not going to get the next trade, the second trade or third trade. It's probably in 2 trades. The second trade there for a while because this is the last issue coming out and they're going to have to wait for it to collect. And you go, ha, you read the first trade and now you don't know what happened.
He's cruel like that.
I am.
Guys, another one I'm looking forward to this week, one of my top reads, the week it comes out, Green Arrow number 27, Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino. Yes, we are into the Outsider storyline. And the last issue, Green Arrow and Shadow went back to the island that Green Arrow was on, and found an avatar, a totem for the Arrow clan that they were looking for. And now there's enemies on their trail. The Spear clan is after them. And it looks like Green Arrow and Shadow will be facing off against Zodiac. Kodiak. Kodiak. Thank you. I love the idea of these clans, the avatars, the totems, the whole purpose of like the weapon. Kind of like the weapon has a mythology to it, a purpose to it. That is so cool to me. I really like that. And Jeff Lemire has added that touch to the story.
He's been able to tie in aspects of how the story is told like it is in the television series.
Exactly.
While still adding his own thing to it, so it doesn't feel like you're just reading a version of the television.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. That's exactly what he's been doing. I appreciate it. And this is the only time I've ever been interested in Green Arrow. So kudos, guys. Keep it going.
Even more so than Kevin Smith's run on Green Arrow.
I think that was the last time I was into it.
It wasn't spectacular.
I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
But
another book that's coming out here is kind of like a season 2 is Star Wars number 13. This is now the Rebellion has finally found their home base there. They've been on the run for the past 12 issues with somehow the Empire has been able to locate them, almost a la Battlestar Galactica, how they kept on having to make the jumps every so many hours there. They've been having to do something like that. So you now they have their new home base. They have Lord Vader was removed from power for a certain amount of time, and because of the destruction of the Death Star. Well, now he's back. He is pissed. He's cleaning house throughout the Empire of different agents, and he is taking control. Okay. So this is Brian Wood writing it.
Name drop.
Yeah. Brian Wood writing it, and but it has been. I like the original Star Wars. That is it. I don't like the books that have been written. I don't like the 3 series or movies that they did as prequels to it. I'm not a Star Wars fan beyond that. And this takes place in between what has now become known as A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. This is kind of storytelling there. Princess Leia, she is badass. You have Han Solo, Your Highness again. You've got kind of the old group there, and so people who are like me and like that original trilogy, you've got that here with the writing, so it's a great jumping on point.
Very cool. Another one I'm looking forward to, which starts a new story arc within the series, is Sheltered. Number 6 hits the shelf this week. This, guys, in a previous video I've described it like watching The Killing, just this slow, dramatic storytelling of what's going on, and we see these kids in this pre-apocalyptic setting, cut off from civilization, and they have killed their parents and have taken over their situation.
So Lord of the Flies.
Exactly. So kudos for the initiative, but maybe you should have done it differently, because things aren't really going to plan for the guy Lucas, who's wanting to be in charge of everything.
Right.
At the end of the last issue, we saw some people show up. What their purpose is, what they want, we don't know. But we have adults entering the fray, it looks like, with these kids that are by themselves, that are being led by this 17, 18-year-old kid, Lucas here. And so this is a new story going into that. I want to see where we're going and what we're doing, because it's been so interesting and tense up to this point.
Well, so we can say it's a news story, but it technically really started last issue.
Sure,
because last issue was the introduction of them, and that, you know, they kind of tagline news story there with the new threats, and so it's kind of the same. We also have had another character within the story, the brother, you know, make the choice that no, I'm not agreeing with Lucas, and something has to change here because I know my sister and I know this other girl, and you know, so you have the division of some people within it. But yeah, this has been a great book, and as always, I have to say it has my favorite artist name ever, with Johnny Christmas drawing it, and he has a very unique art style that I really enjoy there. It fits with it. It's very indie, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I've got another one that's kind of a big one coming out for me, and that has been huge and selling out like crazy, is Afterlife with Archie #3.
Oh yeah.
And guys, this is about as adult themed as you can do with Archie. I mean, there are weird incestuous kind of relationships there with like Cherry Blossom and her brother. And you have some of, I don't think they're the any of the Pussycats, they might be, but you know, who they may have more relations with each other rather than, you know, being interested in guys. It's not your Archie that you're familiar with, and it's cool because you haven't seen Kevin Keller, but they've talked about him and how he's kind of given these girls the girls want to say, you know, look, he's been able to do this, we should be able to do this also. And this is all kind of all these adult themes in the midst of this zombie apocalypse that is going on here, all because of Jughead.
Right.
Jughead going on. And so it's an intense series, and it's an interesting series. I was not sure what to expect of this, and I thought I'll give it a read, and man, I want to keep on reading this because they have given us a really good story with this.
It seems like it just went straight into the deep end.
It did.
Boom.
It did.
You're in.
And I mean, they've given the characters a whole lot of depth there. You know, you kind of get to see why Betty and Veronica have this fighting between each other. You know, Reggie has, you know, he's not just the dumb jock kind of guy, but he's, you know, the one who's responsible for hitting Archie or Jughead's dog, Hot Dog, and he's been, you know, racked with guilt over this and stuff. So it's, I mean, I just like what you see, and it almost, it'll sound silly, but it almost feels like a zombie story that they could put on like the CW with the Archie characters kind of thing.
Nice.
Nice. So it's hard to find them, get the second prints, the third prints while you're searching for the first print of the books, because it's a great read.
Yeah. Guys, another one that I'm looking forward to, there are so many. Manifest Destiny #3 hits the shelves. This has been a fun series for Image Comics, guys, and there has been a lot of ground covered with just the first 2 issues, especially into this strange world that Lewis and Clark have found themselves in. It's not, it's been cool. There is some mystery going on here, different characters. When this issue, we find them finally at the settlement that they were searching for, and we're going to see what they're dealing with inside the settlement itself. And the writer has brought on these different characters. They're dealing with monsters and I don't know, man, not myths, but just different type of creatures down here in I guess in Louisiana.
Well, it's not just in Louisiana; it's within the Louisiana territory.
In that territory, so, correct? Yeah.
I mean that spans from here all the way up to Montana. It's massive.
Yeah. So they're going in. They've been commissioned with going in and finding out what's going on and clearing some of it out so that the government can, you know.
Yeah.
It's a total different retelling of that expedition. So it's been fun. I'm looking forward to it. Issue 3 will be in my stack.
Cool. I know there are tons to talk about, and I'm wanting to keep it kind of short here. I've got only one more to really talk about.
Okay.
This is Batman and Superman #7 is coming out. Greg Pak. And what's cool about this one, this is Batman vs. Superman. And they are taking and they're doing this in a sideways format. So anybody that likes the little gimmicks that they do with the books, you know, the glossy covers, the what they just did with the Origin 2, the 3D covers. This is one where it's all going to be read sideways.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
It'll be neat where you'll be able to get kind of splash page pictures here for the artwork within this. And I believe it's Brett Booth's artwork on this. So, I mean, you're going to get some awesome art for it.
Yeah, he's great for superhero stuff. He really is. I got two things I'm going to wrap up with, guys. Walking Dead, number 19, hits the shelves this week.
Oh, I didn't talk about that, and I do have it.
Yeah, right. Last issue was sad, man. That was just sad. And it wasn't even the carnage and the people killing each other and the zombies. That wasn't the saddest part.
Yeah.
That was not the saddest part, guys. And if you've read 18, you know what I'm talking about. We have lost an awesome character.
Yeah, way too short amount of time that we knew this character when we finally lose it. And I mean, the way they built up everything, and you never thought this was going to be one of the characters to go.
Never.
And yeah, the way they took him out was sad. We also had within that Maggie stepping up to Gregory there on the hillside, and she's just like, "Look, buddy, you are lying. You are conniving. You are an awful person. I'm not following you, and these people here, if they want to live, if they want to survive, they need to stop following you." So you have that development. You have Michonne, who's come back to Carl, and she's said, "Look, I'm coming back here to help you out, to stake out what's going on." I think you have Andrea, who's back there right now. Mm-hmm. And it just that all they tell us is that the war makes it back home.
Yeah,
the war comes home. So something's going. I have a feeling something's going to hit their compound.
Right.
So you don't have Rick there right now. You don't have anything else with it. The other thing I've liked about this is that you had you saw Ezekiel may be this grand presence, and he may have his kingdom. But when he tried taking the battle to an outpost there, he is not a fighter. He is not like Rick and the rest of his group. And he's like, we had the number and we had this, but they were waiting for us. They were ready, and they were picking us apart, kind of thing. So it's interesting to see that some of it's going as planned, some of it really has not gone as planned.
Exactly, and keeping it real like that's really cool. But man, I
still heartbroken.
It's been a while since I've been devastated like that with The Walking Dead. So, Kirkman, I hate you and I love you.
Maybe 100 was the last time?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. It's been a while.
Because that one was awful, too.
That was, yeah. Guys, the last one I'm going to cover is Wolverine number 13. This is the final chapter of the Killable storyline. And I don't think this is the last issue. I think we got another issue or two of this series to go. But now we're finally get to see what Sabretooth has had planned for Wolverine and this particular sword that Wolverine has been back on the trail for. This kind of is why he's doing what he's doing. He wants this sword back that Mystique and Sabretooth kind of work together to take from him. And this is leading up to the new Wolverine series that'll be coming out next month, February.
No, I think it's March. I think it's March.
March.
It's the first month. So.
And we're going to see a totally different Wolverine in that series because of what's happening right now. So, guys, be prepared. If you're reading Wolverine, we're going to see some changes here.
And I just have to say, I like what they're doing with Sabretooth, because I get tired of that he's just like this animal killer. I like when they, say, look, this guy's intelligent too and knows how to, play mind games. They go back and forth with that kind of Sabretooth. And, as one of my favorite characters, that's the one I prefer.
Yeah.
It's a lot more dangerous.
And there's a reason why he's lasted as long as he has. And been such a menace to some of these heroes like he has been to Wolverine,
Well, he is the exact opposite of Wolverine in every way. And, that you have to look at Wolverine. He's the same way. He's not just this feral animal. He's this guy who is, cunning and, has military knowledge and all this other stuff as well.
Exactly.
Wouldn't Sabretooth also be kind of that same person?
Exactly. So, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how that storyline wraps up. That's it for me.
Yeah, me too. We have tons of other great books coming out there. 3's another great one that's coming out. Tons of books.
Exactly. But guys, we're gonna wrap it up right here, right now. Don't forget the question of the week.
Yeah.
If you were in charge of DC Comics right now, what are the top 3 things that you would change with DC Comics? And guys, thank you for the comments. We really appreciate it. Leave us a comment below. Be sure and share the video. Thumbs up it, like it, subscribe. Help us with the social sharing and all that jazz. We really appreciate it. That wraps it up for this week. He's Randy. I'm Chris. We're Excalibur Comics, Cards, and the Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and in Texarkana.
That's right. Real quickly, happy birthday, Nathan Hicks.
Happy birthday, dude. I almost forgot. Sorry, but
we got
birthday.
it out there.
We got it out there.
Shout out there.
And Andrew, we're still waiting to hear from you about Doctor Who and all of what happened last week.
He was in.
Was he in? I missed it. I'm sure that was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, but Acadian Descendant, I don't know what the deal is. I checked everything. You should be able to leave comments for us. I'm sorry. I don't know what the deal is. We haven't done anything on our end, and you sent me a message, and I appreciate that. Something's going on with YouTube.
Google Plus.
Go with Google Plus.
Yeah,
make sure you got a Google Plus
with
account.
Google Plus.
Make sure you're going through that, not through YouTube itself. I'm not sure if. Make sure you have a Google Plus account. You'll be able to leave comments. We miss your comments and we appreciate them. We appreciate everything, guys. Thanks again. Once again, Happy New Year, and until next time, take care.